every Tuesday morning right here on KPRC2 Plus now at 8. KPRC2 Investigates is here for you with Pop-Off Politics. It's our weekly segment on KPRC2 Plus where we break down at least one agenda item Houston Council is evaluating. And our goal here is to help you understand big budget issues and if council should approve them.
This is true.
KPRC2 Investigates. Mario Diaz is here now. Mario, you are always tracking the money.
That's what we try to do.
Yes. Welcome, sir.
How you doing?
Doing well.
All right, so you want to know what we're looking at this week?
What are we looking at?
Okay, so you know there's an old saying in life that the third time is the charm. Well, Wednesday appears to be the third time is the charm case for a company called Versaterm. Okay, it's part of an agenda item with the city of Houston. And if you recall, a few weeks ago, our investigative producer, Jason Wynn, he filled in for me. He helped explain that this is a new system for the Houston Police Department. It really has to do with software, okay? And record keeping.
And it's frankly, it's needed, right?
It is needed according to some.
Right.
But
okay.
not to others, right? But it's coming up again,
yes.
right?
Why is that? Why does it keep coming back?
Well, okay, so here's what happened. The item was pulled the very first week when Jason talked about it, okay? And then last week, it was tagged.
What does tagged mean?
Tagged, no, you got it. It means it gets
kicked down
the road.
All right. The following week.
So, hey, let's bring it back, all right? It's like a boomerang.
It just keeps on coming back.
All right, so.
How many times can you tag an item? Is there a rule?
Well, no, okay, so hold it right here.
Okay.
Let me explain how the tag process works, okay? We'll get in here. Glenn, get in here. You got to get in here, Glenn. I got to explain how the tag process works. We're going to
show and tell time. Come on.
But hold it where we're at right here.
We'll stand right
here. So this is Glenn. He helps us every week. This is Zach, okay? So, all right. So let's say we have an item that we don't want to see move forward next week, okay? Okay, but you're not in this week, okay? So Glenn says, I'm going to tag it. So say tag it.
Tag him.
Okay, so guess what? That gets kicked down to the following week, right? But now you're back.
Because it's a new week.
It's a new week. And, okay, I can't tag it because I was present. Glenn already tagged it.
So he can again?
Nope, you can't do it again. But you weren't here last week. So guess what? You can tag it.
Oh, wow.
Because you weren't at City Council.
Okay.
But here's the problem. Usually you don't have, you can get back in here. You're part of this. You're still tagging this. Get in here. Usually you can't have it tagged more than a couple weeks because everybody's present.
Right.
You can't have, hey, A, be gone, B, gone, C,
that makes
at large,
sense.
one.
Okay.
So there you go. All right.
I'm done.
You're done. I'm done. So let's take a look at this week's agenda item. It's number 43. The specific explanation.
Okay.
The chief of the Houston Police Department and the chief procurement officer recommends that the city council approve an ordinance authorizing the appropriation of $3.1 million.
Baby, that's a lot of money.
$31 million. Forgive me. I'm looking at the wrong. Whew.
Wait, it's 31 million.
31 million.
Oh my goodness, it's even more than what's in the prompter.
We had a late.
I know. $31 million, more than $31 million.
Out of the equipment acquisition consolidated fund. There
you go.
And what are we looking at? 900,000 out of the contributed capital project fund, and award a 7-year contract with 3 one-year options to Versaterm Public Safety Inc. in the amount not to exceed $31.1 million.
Okay, so we've established what Versaterm is.
Right.
What are the types of records here we're talking about?
Well, the city and the union, I've spoken with the latter. Jason and I know have spoken to the former. They say that this is a new reporting system that will make it easier to track reports and statistics. It talks directly with the National Incident-Based Reporting System.
What do we know about this system so far and how it's different from the system they have in place right now, which is the same system they've had in place for several years?
No, and I spoke with Ray Hunt. He is the head of, he's part of the union leadership, I should say. He says that it moves the department away from Motorola products, but only for records keeping. And he tells me the following, and this is interesting, okay? It was never brought to my attention. We contacted the 2 cities that currently utilize the system, and their union representatives told us that the troops say it's decent, but that management doesn't like it because it's difficult to retrieve information. Now, those 2 cities are Austin and San Antonio.
Right here in Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if this vote goes through, expect Houston to be the 3rd Texas
and the largest
police department large police department, to actually use this new record-keeping software that, again, is part of a $31 million contract.
Mario, was this put out to bid or an emergency purchase order? We've talked about those.
Those EPOs. Right. That's a great question. Okay, so the city did put this out to bids. What is interesting is that when it comes to the cost section, okay, of the reports of the bid, meaning, is this the best one? Well, they scored 12 out of 30 possible points where it comes to the cost aspect, when they were graded about how much this actually cost. 12 out of 30. But they did score highest overall. And the union official says that the software is millions more than the current system
that they have right now.
Yeah, but it's about a decade old.
Yeah.
And that's why they want to make this change. But again, it's millions more according to union leadership.
So we're talking about this new system. How does a system like this transfer over without any interruptions, disruptions to their current flow?
Great question, because obviously it's a huge city. We're getting a lot of reports. And according to city documents, and I quote, okay, as part of the implementation plan, HPD will migrate data from existing systems, conduct extensive training sessions, provide follow-up user support, and conduct performance testing to ensure a very smooth smooth transition.
Of course they said that.
Take away that. Take away that part. Okay.
Yeah.
The vote is set to go tomorrow. In all likelihood, the third time will be the charm for them.
Okay, so we will be waiting, we will be watching. On a closing note,
I'd
like to highlight the fact that we've been diligent in uncovering public corruption and scrutinizing how taxpayers' dollars are being allocated.
We have been.
As evidenced by 2 of your reports that you turned just this week.
That are coming up. Well, we're going to be highlighting, okay? Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the slow roll of public corruption cases here in Houston. You see the HISD case, FBI raided there a few years ago. You had a woman named Rhonda Skillern-Jones. She was the board president. She pled guilty 2 years ago this month. She still hasn't been sentenced. In fact, there is no sentencing date, but she's not the only one that's tied to an FBI investigation. There's also William Paul Thomas with the city of Houston that has had some issues with regards to when people are asking me always, when is he going to get sentenced? When is he going to get sentenced? Well, we're going to break things down and explain what's going on. That's on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Then on Thursday night at 6 o'clock, remember this artwork. There were so many questions about this African art that we exposed in the county shed, and this was one that I still get questions on.
What was it doing there?
It was housed inside of a county shed, private collection, secretly stored. They did a complete makeover of the shed. The county had to do an investigation. District Attorney Kim Ogg and her team of public corruption decided to launch a criminal investigation because this was all done without anybody really knowing about it, okay?
Interesting.
There was a contract initially that said 14 pieces of art. Well, they blew it up for over 1,000 pieces. They refurbished an entire shed. It was a rundown, old-looking shed, but on the inside, they put
I'm
in the
interested.
bars.
When is this report airing?
Well, this is what we've exposed back in 2020. It went to, Justin remembers this story. Justin remembers this story. He's giving me that thumbs up. So what's happening now is there's an update here. We thought this story ended 2 years ago this month. They moved all the African art. There was nobody that was charged. There was a no bill. They said, hey, let's get some of the money back for the taxpayers. I'm going to update that. But guess what? We found the art. We found the art, and it's tied to a very intriguing court case. And there is a intriguing development that we will have Thursday night at 6 o'clock.
Okay, now we're sure about these times.
Yes, we are. Yes, absolutely we are.
Okay, don't want to get those wrong 2 weeks in a row.
No, we got it.
Okay.
But I got to.
This is a fascinating story. Fascinating.
I will tell you that, we have done a lot of investigations in KPRC2 Investigates. We have done so much with regards to how your dollars are being spent, how they're being managed. And so many of you have reached out to me saying, we have got questions. What is the update here? What's going on? And I say, hey, well, this is what happened a couple years ago. Don't you remember? And here it is once again in this particular case, the William Paul Thomas case. So we exposed a lot there that's been going on. So obviously, we know that you as Houstonians have an interest in this.
Yeah.
We at KPRC2 Investigates,
Absolutely.
we don't mind exposing it.
Of course.
And we want to bring it to you, and we're going to always continue to follow it and update it. Hey, special shout out, Jason Wynn. He helped put it all together again this week, as he always does.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight, he will be in next week. It's Halloween.
It's Halloween. You are off.
I'm off.
With the kiddos.
Yeah, okay. I got a trick, and I got a treat. So
Will you be a trick or will you be a treat?
Yabba dabba doo! I'll be Fred Flintstone.
His name is Mario Diaz. He's here every Tuesday for Pop Off Politics. If you have any questions, you have any concerns, you want him to look into them, contact him, mdiaz@kprc.com.
All right, so I'm going as Fred Flintstone. My
Yeah.
wife is going
Wilma.
as Wilma. You want to come as Bam Bam?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Of course he would offer me that.